And Mark, welcome back. I'd first like to apologize. Sorry there's been a lack of videos this last week. My wife's uncle passed away and she had to go down to visit with family down in Florida and left me with 4 children. Four of them. Oh, it was great. Trying to get them off to school. Thought I had that handled. Second day, the oldest that's still at home, there's 2 that have moved out, but the oldest that's still at home, DJ, his snake got out like about 10 minutes before the bus came. So I was running around trying to find the snake because the 3-year-old apparently let it out of the cage. And then my wife got a new puppy the week before, and so I was dealing with the puppy. And yeah, suffice it to say, I was very overwhelmed with stuff. But I got my package in, and I got this later than most people. He's Imperial agents, got it because I pre-ordered it, and of course I didn't pay the extra cash for the super fast shipping, just the regular 3 to 6 day shipping, because I live 3 days of actual normal people shipping from the factory. But that never works with FedEx. They always let it sit somewhere, and it's usually somewhere in Georgia for like 2 or 3 days to make sure it takes 6 days to get to me. So whatever. But now it's here. It's here. Take my glasses off. What do we got here? So what did I get? Well, I got the Imperial Agents Codex because I wanted that for sure. Even though when I was sitting there, I was kind of seeing people on Facebook and other social media and stuff that were like, "Oh, this isn't exactly. Oh, it's not the greatest." And I was like, you know what? Hold course, hold firm. People have told you forever that Inquisition isn't the greatest army in the world or whatever. Ignore the naysayers, right? So, what did I get? I got a Jokiro weaponsmith. Got another one of these guys to join the one I have already, and I got him because I was trying to get up to the minimum, what is it, $65 for free shipping or whatever it is on the website. And I've been wanting another one for a while. So I picked him up. And cool. Got me my weaponsmith. And so I'm not going to go into him. I have a video where I got on one of those, did a thing on that earlier in my YouTubing. And I don't want to knock that over. I've been painting some stuff over here, and just good enough, right? With the I may put a link in there, but what I also got was this guy, DEATHWATCH Chaplain. Now this guy, I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure. I guess I'm going to leave it this way because I'm going to flip the video, so I'm going to do this way, so don't need to keep turning it like that. But this guy, what I did with him, pretty sure there was a Reclusium Command Squad. That's what it was. It was the second purchase I ever got when I was building the army, because I had 2. When I started out, I had 2 units of 10 tactical Marines that I had from the 90s. And that's it. That's what I had. So I went to the store. I bought an HQ unit, which is a Terminator Captain, I believe. And that's what I started out with. Then when I went to add some more stuff, I got a unit of Terminators, because Terminator's cool. I love Terminators. Great. And then the third thing I got was the Reclusium Command Squad, because it had a Rhino in it, it had a Command Squad, it had the Chaplain, and it was this Chaplain. I'm pretty sure it was this dude right here. It was in there. Except it wasn't a DEATHWATCH Chaplain, it was a DEATHWATCH pad. And if it wasn't this exact dude, it was someone extremely similar to this dude. But I got this. Now, all of you know that I did not get this simply because it has a DEATHWATCH upgrade sprue in it. Okay, I did. That's what I did. Of course I did. DEATHWATCH upgrade sprue? I'm gonna pass up an opportunity to get one of those. So yeah, I didn't really need to get this, but I had traded this guy out to someone for a Dreadnought early on, and so I was like, yeah, I could get that guy back. He's pretty cool. He looks I'm pretty sure it's the same guy except with a DEATHWATCH pad. Very similar at least. So he's got a little how to build me on there. Comes with his base, and he comes with his fancy base fancier upper thing. He's mostly unibody, one leg, chest, and an arm all built in here. He's got his other half is another leg and the rest of the chest, so he's only got really one arm. And this I think this is a shoulder piece here. His backpack is pretty everything right there. Get closer there, and then this one shoulder pad. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me look at this. Put that together. Yeah, he's already got the fancified shoulder pad here, and this is a regular shoulder pad. Yeah, that's the same guy, I'm pretty sure. 2012, so I think that's the same guy. And then DEATHWATCH upgrade sprue. Seen these before? DEATHWATChy stuff. Oh, go this way. Lots of DEATHWATCH stuff. So that's what's in there. Let you guys see that. Bing! Put that back in the box. Look at the time on this thing. Is this upside down? It's supposed to be turned more. There it goes. Silly me. Alright, so 7 minutes. So probably seen some other guys go through this. It's pretty cool. I guess when I look at it differently than some other people look at it. I see some of the things that they're saying about some of the units in there, but when I get to the Inquisition part, that's what it is for me right here. This is Codex. I know it's got Sisters Battle. This is like Codex Inquisition in feely form. Don't have to use my tablet all the time, which needs the battery charged. Yes. While I'm thinking about it here, I'm gonna waste my time in my video to plug this thing in right here. I don't know how this goes. Yeah, this guy's there it goes. It's caught on something. That's a problem. Ooh, gotta be careful. Got my my dude. This dude, when I owned a bead store, there's someone who made custom beads, custom glass beads, and she came into the store once, and we bought some stuff and sold it from her. She was a local lady, and she made this guy. I kept him. I call him my lucky lizard. I just put him up somewhere, and as long as he's watching over, everything's fine with the lucky lizard. So put him up here. He's gonna watch over us. So, got that out of the way. What's in here? Well, a lot of cool stuff. They've got, everybody else starts with this. They got some basic background. The first, what is it, about 18 pages of actual pages. Because it starts on page 4, ends in page 22. Then they start going into these various things. Now, I wanted to pull up the GW website here on the computer because I'm pretty sure about some of them, but I wasn't 100% sure about what I was thinking about some of them. When we get to them, I want to be ready for that, so let me get that up. And it's easier on the computer than it is my phone. At least it goes a little faster. Looking stuff up on my phone sometimes is crazy. So I want Inquisition is what I want right now. Do they even have these guys on here anymore? They don't even have these guys. Are they in made to order? Is it made to order still going on? No, it's not even going on anymore. We're on Adeptus Sororitas. Let me look, because they've redone that too, right? Yeah, so some of these you can't even get right now. Anyway, we'll go through and look at them. So, get some stuff in the name of the Emperor. It talks about all these forces, the different things in the book. Some really cool artwork. Acadians, Ecclesiarchy, the Space Marines up here and here. And just, some coolness. That air, the Titans are down here. Titans would be cool. If they gave a different way to add Titans, that would be really awesome. And again, it starts with Priesthood of Mars, the hierarchy. This is also in other books. A little bit different text to it. Kind of looked at that. Armadas of Destruction. They're talking about the Imperial Navy. It talks about here, flight is 2 or more aircraft, a squadron 2 or more flights, a group 2 or more squadrons, a division 3 or more groups. So, that's a lot of aircraft. That would be insane. Talks about the Psychers, and this is basically the 2 types that are discussed in the book here. Sisters of Battle, go through that. Little flavor text on them. Then the DEATHWATCH talks about them, their weapons, a little bit of just fluffy fluff, not too much. The Grey Knights, which this is interesting. I bought some purifiers and converted them over their bodies and stuff to librarians and stuff. So now I'm like, oh no, I wish I had those dudes or whatever they are because they could be used with this. But Legion of the Damned, I've been thinking about getting some Legion of the Damned. Where would they be? I think up here. Let me see real quick. Oh, I'm trying to, just so disorganized today. Was it on this tray? Let me see, this is Charlie's car. Oh, here they are, yeah. I dug these little skulls. Ooh, can you see that? Yeah, skulls out from some bits that I had. Got a few of those. And I've been thinking about building some Legion of the Damned to, customizing some of mine out of the plastic to run with my DEATHWATCH, and so this will be cool. I have to do some kind of painting of flames. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff. The detail work. It's getting worse too these days though. But yeah, that's another thing. Do the best you can, right? The assassins. I don't have any assassins. I would love to have the assassins, but it's expensive. Assassins. I mean, you either buy the assassin game, which definitely is a deal, but I don't want any of the chaos miniatures. I don't really have any use for them, unfortunately. So I don't know. But I would really like to get the, what's this? Is the Caluxus is the Psyker assassin, and then some Sisters of Silence. Create like this anti-Psyker force in my thing. That would be really cool. Really cool. But maybe in the future. Then it talks about the Emperor and all these forces standing against the tide of chaos and the Inquisition dudes. And then they go into some nice, cool painted models that we all aspire to being able to paint this coolly. Well, not all of us. Some of us can do this. Cool stuff. Pennant, I've always loved these. If they're going to do plastic sisters, which is really in the rumors, if you've looked at the Facebook, they have the new Celestine plastic that they've just come out with, and the new Archmagos or something, that guy, and then the female Inquisitor, which is really awesome. All 3 of those. I think she looks like an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor, which is great. Because the proxy one I have is Ordo Xenos too, so I could just swap them out. And she could run them with some DEATHWATCH, which would be really cool. But I love these Pennant engines. If they're going to bring out this stuff in plastic, this would be great. So awesome. I hope they do, and I hope these are some of them that they do bring out in the plastics. Because, even some people are like, oh, these aren't the greatest. I would still run them because they're cool. They're so cool. Talk of different guard, because this fall Acadia is coming out. Maybe some different guard. Yes. But yeah, some crazy stuff going on with that stuff. all these pretties. I don't know why they got Storm Ravens in here. I don't think any of these forces can bring Storm Ravens. Yep. Weird. Kind of weird. Where they got there? Yellow helmets. I can't see any shoulder pads. So I'm not sure. You guys probably know who these red and yellow guys are. I can't see their shoulder pads. So I think that's a Blood Angels on the Storm Raven. Looks like a Blood Angels on the Storm Raven. But I can't see their shoulder pads, so I don't know. So then it talks about all the different detachments, how to read a data sheet, in case you didn't know. In case it's like the first Codex. They've got some of the extra stuff in here, like servo arms, digital weapons, stuff that isn't covered in the main rulebook that's covered in all the separate codexes, refractor fields and psych-out grenades, things like that. And it starts with Cult Mechanicus, and all the factions have this kind of star field, and it's different colors with a picture. It's from another thing that's kind of embedded into the star field. So the Cult Mechanicus is pretty simple. They have a little Ingisir congregation. It's a headquarter and an optional elite. They get canticles, which is really cool. But this is all there is, and what it is this Tech Priest Ingisir, which is a model that I don't have. Let's see here. Tech Priest, there he is. Ooh, and he's on the higher end of things. He's $30, that dude. From Games Workshop, so. But if you want to run this little thing, it's kind of it's a good way to get this little guy to, maybe you don't have ways to fix your vehicles, and to kind of get him into a force, just him, because he can like awaken the machine. He can like give vehicles it says Astra Militarum vehicle within 12 inches. Now I don't know if they mean that faction or if they mean like a vehicle that they can use, like a Chimera, even if it was a Inquisition Chimera, right? Not sure how that works. And so he can repair units as well, and when he has servitors, that actually helps him, just like a Space Marine dude can do. So he's kind of like a junior Space Marine fixer. Then you have the servitors. Now the cool thing about the servitors is they drop these to a unit of 1 on these guys, so 10 points. You can just take the 1 servitor, and you don't have to take more than that. And then they have the canticles here listed for those of you who use those. And none of these stat lines have changed for use that have seen these guys before. I mean, he's like 3 straight across from weapon skill to toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative. So these guys are just normal humans. 1 attack, 8 leadership, which is pretty good for normal humans, and a 3 up save. I don't believe he has a he can take a refractor field, so he doesn't have a invuln, but a refractor field I think is a 5 up. Let me look back here. Yeah, refractor field is a 5 up save. So that's a kind of a common Cult Mechanicus is the refractor field. On my Warcon vacation, since it was free, I put one on, like everybody had one. Because you know it's free. Use it, right? And then that's it right there. Then you're into the next one. Like I said, it's another Starfield, Aeronautic Imperialist. It's a Valkyrie up in there. And all they have is this Officer of the Fleet, and then a fast attack, which is the Valkyrie. Now the difference is their Imperial Navy section, the fast attack is compulsory, but the HQ, he's optional. You don't have to bring him. And when you just bring one, if you just bring 1 Valkyrie into a force, and maybe you want to add one to, say, Space Marines for some reason or something like that, for like firepower backup maybe or something, I don't know. If you wanted to do that, you get you can re-roll failed reserve rolls, air superiority. So, yeah, they come in more reliably. This dude is normally human, except his ballistic skill is 4, so a little bit better. He's only leadership 7. He has a 5-up save. He can take a refractor field as well as digital weapons. And he can get a las pistol, which doesn't really help much. He's an independent character, and he's got Navy orders, which he can do one of two things. He can either, if they're successful, he can either add 1 to your reserve rolls or subtract 1 from your opponent's reserve rolls. They still come in if they roll a 6, but he allows you. He's like allowing you to mess with reserve rolls. And the thing is, if you have more of these guys, that affects stacks. So if you had 3 of them, and you used all 3 of them to affect your opponent's reserve rolls, you'd be kicking them to a 6 up to come in for their stuff, which is not good. Not good. Hopefully they don't have too much of reserve. But he's 20 points. Not bad. 125 for the Valkyrie. Standard. Thing with him is that you don't have to take, you can just take him. Usually you'd have to have a command squad, I think, for the Imperial Guard. And so he would be like an option for that command squad. So, that would be a few hundred points versus 20 points where you can just, slot him in and take him. Of course, you'd have to have a Valkyrie also. So, and you're going 145 points, but you are getting a Valkyrie. And depending on how they do with the FAQ about the allies and transports, or if they FAQ this particular one, so that allies can go into these transports, because as it is now, these are, the faction of these are Aeronautica Imperialist faction, and the only thing is this guy and that. So the only thing you ride in there is that guy. Unless you had this like on a Sky Shield landing pad and it was hovered on there, and then you had someone jump in it and then take off after that, which I guess you could do that, but I don't know. This is just basically standard Valkyrie, and it's got the Death from Disguise things added in there. Pursuit 1, Agility 3. And it's got the upgrades, standard access points. Excuse me. And then these are just the profiles for the weapons on the Valkyrie. Grab, shoot, insertion roll. That's it. Boom. You're on to Adeptus Astra Telepathica. Now here's where we're getting into some stuff here. These guys are no longer, you can't even, maybe you can get him. Let me see. Let me look up. Look. Okay, Primaris Psyker is still available. So got him. And he's still a metal, I think, though. Yeah, he's a metal. So he's still a metal. They haven't switched him over. He's not bad. $15. He's independent character, so you can move him around. Level 1, it's got the rule if he can be shot by a commissar, but you're taking him by himself. For the Psychana division, it's HQ. Him or the Astropath. Boom. Just by themselves. The cool thing about this is the Astropath or the Primaris Psyker, with its detachment, harnesses warp charges on a result of 3+ when attempting to manifest psychic powers within 12 inches of 5 or more Ward Vein Psykers from the same Psychana division. So you have to get a unit of the Word Vein. But this is basically a Librarius Conclave effect. But the other Psykers aren't restricted from casting. These guys can still cast, as far as it says here. So it's kind of like a cheap Librarius Conclave, because this guy is going to be, you can upgrade him Mastery level 2, so 75 points. And then he's going to be able to cast 2 Psychic Powers a turn. He can't share Psychic Powers from the other guys, but he can do his. So you have a really good chance of getting the powers that he has off. So this is going to be your main dude. That's a good way to, in any force you have, to have kind of like a ghetto cheap Librarius Conclave. And the other Psykers can actually manifest their powers as well. So, although I'm thinking here, W-Y-R-D, I don't think they're in here. Did I spell? Oh, they're still there. Where are they at? They're probably under the Astra Militarum. Yeah, this is the saying. Yeah. This was what I was thinking too when I saw this, but I'll mention that in a second. So he's, I think these are the same from his entry in the Imperial Guard book, Astra Militarum, whatever you want. 4/4, 3/3, 2 wounds, but he is not Eternal Warrior, so his toughness of 3 kind of limits the effectiveness of that. And his initiative 3. He has 2 attacks, leadership 9, 5+ save, so he's a pretty decent guy. And there he automatically has a refractor save, so he's 5 up armor, 5 up invul. He'd probably always just take the invul anyway, right? Who cares? And that guy is interesting. So, Astropath, he's kind of interesting because whenever he successfully manifests power, you can choose to re-roll any reserve rolls in your next turn. So that would be cool if you're relying on a reserve armor. You bring the Astropath, have him pop some things. He's only 25 points, cheaper than the primary Psyker. 4 Psyker level 1, so you're going to get him Psyker level 2, it's 50 points. He's going to be kind of your hide in the back Psyker though, because he doesn't have a refractor field. You're going to have to give him one for 10 points, so that brings him up to 60. At level 2, this guy's 75 with the refractor field built in. He can take Biomancy, Divination, Pyromancy, and Telekinesis. He can only go Divination, Telepathy, so you're kind of limiting, but if those are some that you want, he's a little bit cheaper. And if you're not going to get him into combat, because he's got a good ballistic seal, but all his other skills are low. His leadership is 7, and he's just a basic 5 up save. But if you bring him up to the 60 points, and he's got a 5 up invul, so that's it. But you may not. You save that 10 points because you're going to keep him, hide him, or something like that, and just use his powers. Invisibility over here, or something. Or something. I don't know what's off the top of my head intimidation of those. Here's the guys. Okay, here's my issue with these guys. These guys they come like this. It's 5 Word Vein Psychers for the unit, 60 points. You can include up for 5 more. You can include up to 5 more for 12 points. So there's 10 you can put in there. Level 1, Brotherhood of Psychers. 2 weapon skill, 3 ballistics, 2 strength. Just weak as heck. Toughness is 3, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, leadership 8, decent leadership, and a 5+ save. You can't give them an invul. Here's my thing with these. GW, there's metal models. There's only 3 casts of them right now. 3 come in the pack of 3. It's $5 a piece. It's 15 for the 3, but $5 a piece. Now what do you do? This is like the hot dogs and the hot dog buns thing. I mean, you can put 10 of these guys in a unit, right? But you can only buy them in sets of 3. So you either have 9 or 12. And then you get 2 left over. Or you have 9 and pair them with the Astropath or the Primaris Psyker for an even unit of 10? I don't know. Or you just do the 5? I don't know. And this is only 1 HQ, so you can do up to 3 units of these guys, so between 15 and 30 of them. And maybe that's what they want you to do, is be able to max out 3 units of 10, which is 30, which means you would have to buy 10 sets of the guys offline, and then you could do it. Okay, but there's only 3 guys. 3 different guys. This guy, and this guy. And you can see in this picture, these 2 guys are the same guy right there. I don't know. Okay, it's done. Adeptus Sororitas. Everybody, me included, we want plastic sisters. We want the sisters. The sisters are awesome. But this is one of the biggest sections in the book. They start off with a small group here, which is the Ministorum delegation. It's just an HQ and an elite. So the HQs are the Canoness, the Ministorum Priest, or the hobo with a shotgun, Uriah Jacobus. Or you can do a Vestal Task Force, which is huge. They get Army of Faith, which allows them to re-roll ones once per game. And Blessed Warrior, which allows you to re-roll Warlord traits. And they are compulsory as an HQ, 2 troops, and an elite. So that's cool. And optional is another HQ, 4 more troops, 2 more elites, 3 fast attack, and 3 heavy support. So huge. You can build a huge force with this. They list all the war gear from the Sisters book, basically. Same. And the relics and all that. Canoness, this is all the same. They list their acts of faith, but it's in hardback. You can see it. You got it. They moved the Minister and Priest over here from the Inquisition, which in a way is a good thing. But he's still got his same hymns, I believe. This is all the same. And his choices of weapons and all that are pretty much the same. The Uriah is there with his cool banner and the shotgun. They got a regular Battle Sister squad, 60 points for pinches, 85. I don't think any of these points or anything changed. The Sorites Command Squad, which have kind of put in the Hospitaller and the Dialogus, and then some Celestians, and you can give one the banner. Which, with the metal ones I got now, you're kind of locked into these, and that's not cool. But hopefully we're getting plastic soon, hopefully, right? They've moved the Arcoflagellants and Crusaders over into the Sister section. There's 3 Arcoflagellants here. I believe they sell them. They don't sell them right now. That's the thing right here, right? Yeah, Arco. Yeah. Oh, right here. It's on Email Me. They're out. That's what it was. They are out. So they don't have any, I believe. There's a lot of stuff that is not. Don't open. There's a lot of stuff that's not in the Inquisition thing. It's out of, at least in the U.S. right now. It's not available. It's on the Email Me list. But you can get 3 when you get them. So there's, unit of 3, you get 3. So that's cool. But you can include up to 7 more, so you can do 10. So, 10 Arcoflagellants is 100 points. That's super bad. I mean, they have Feel No Pain. They're only toughness 3, but they, weapon skill of 5. I mean, they might work. Might, a nice force. Crusaders, great guys. I believe Crusaders come, let's see. There we go. I don't know if they come 2 or 3 to a pack. Let's look. This thing doesn't want to do what I want it to do. There we go. How many come in here? Just the 2. Okay, so 2. Let me read more here. Yeah, finally, they're resin at least. Yeah, 2 Crusaders is what you get in the thing. Unit of 2, but can include up 8 more, so 10. If you're by the current models, that's going to be 50. Wow, a lot of money. Here. 6. Oh. What? Come on, bud. 6 point. I can calculate up on the computer. 82.50. Yeah. 82 bucks. 83 basically for a full unit of those. Although I don't know if you would need a full unit. They're 15 points a model, so they're kind of expensive. But putting a few here and there for the 3-up save on the Storm Shield might be interesting. Maybe kit bash some of your own though from something. Or if they come out with plastic, that would be nice. I wonder if all this is going to be considered plastic sisters. So a lot of this stuff is going to be coming out. That would be interesting. Death Cult Assassins are also moved over into here. Unit is base of 2. And you can include up to 8 more. They can select a Sororitas Rhino or an Emulator as a dedicated transport. Crusaders can do that, and so can these guys. So that, keep that in mind when we come to that thing. So Celestian Squad, you can bring those guys around. Dominion Squad, Seraphim Squad. Hopefully we're seeing a bunch of new Seraphim models. We saw a couple with Celestine, so that's cool. They all got the same stuff. They got the Rhino and the Emulator in there. Emulator in here. Basic stuff. The Retributor Squad and the Exorcist are in here. And then the Pendant Engines, which are really cool. And then they have what's called an Ecclesiarchy Battle Conclave. Really what this is a Ministorum Priest or Uriah. 3 to 10 units chosen from these things. Archoflagellants, Crusaders, and Death Cult Assassins. And all this really does is give these units here that didn't have Shield of Faith, because all the other stuff that was already here had it, it gives them Shield of Faith. So you put them in this formation with this conclave. So it gives them the 6-up save. This is what it does. That's all that formation does. If you take these 3 in this thing, 3 units with this formation with a priest, Shield of Faith. There you go. Cool. List of warlord traits for the sisters from their book. Talks about the arcoflails here, neural whips, and their special war gear. Talks about all their relics, which is really cool. Really interesting relics they have. But this is not new stuff. Then we move into DEATHWATCH. DEATHWATCH is kind of interesting. Now, I saw some people, they weren't like, oh, what's this? DEATHWATCH, it's 1 troop. And 1 troop is a unit of veterans, and the unit of veterans can take a Corvus Blackstar as their transport. This is really cool. This gives you the Aquila Doctrine, which you get if you're Aquila Kill Team. But an Aquila Kill Team requires you to either pick a Librarian, or a Terminator, or a Vanguard Veteran. But you don't have to do that here. You're saving the points. You can go with a base unit with all their upgrades from the DEATHWATCH that we know are cool, and you can stick them in the Corvus. But here's the thing, that is the dedicated transport that these guys can have, is the Corvus, not the drop pod. Doesn't list the drop pod. They don't want to give the drop pods to the Inquisitors. So keeping the drop pods out. So, oh well. I think they're trying to not keep you from, like, I don't know, drop podding in like a big old unit of maybe Death Cult Assassins or Archoflagellants in, and a couple Crusaders to protect them in that Ecclesiarchy thing or something like that. Because they will all be part of the big unit in the back. They're all part of a unit. But yeah, that's all there is for DEATHWATCH. 1 kill team. They get their mission tactics, and they can combat squad, which is really cool. Gives the weapons, all the cool weapons that the DEATHWATCH have, which are numerous and awesome. Special ammunition, the Stalker bolt guns. Then it moves into Grey Knights. This is a even less thing. You can get Daemon Hunter Strike Force, which is a troop and a fast attack. You can't add a heavy support. So 1 troop, 1 fast attack, and a heavy support. They get the rights of teleportation, which means they can come in turn 1 and they can run and shoot. They come in on a 3+. Has the Grey Knights weapons here list and special issue war gear. You could either get a regular Terminator squad, 5 guys for 165 points and their upgrades, or Well, and you have to get an interceptor squad. This is what I had, and interceptors, and I used their bodies and stuff. But, oh well, now we have to get some more. But that would be your basic thing: is one Terminator and an interceptor squad. To do that, and you can bring in Nemesis Dread Knight, which is pretty cool. So you can kind of bring a little pared down force. All the Land Raiders are dedicated transport for these guys, so they have all the Land Raiders in here, all those, and their special rules and their Sancti Discipline, and all the cool stuff that they can cast. That they have the already known powers, and their armory, with side cannons, incinerators, Nemesis Daemon hammers, and swords, and all that stuff. Then it moves into Legion of the Damned. Great. His arm's falling asleep. Legion of the Damned is pretty interesting. They have, this is basically the same stuff that's in the Space Marine Codex. You can take one unit of elites, which is 5 guys. It can be up to 10. And they have their same legionary stuff, 3 up save, 3 up invuln. They have ignores cover for their projectiles. They can't be joined by independent characters. They start in Deep Street Reserve. You can re-roll the scatter dice, but they deep strike, and they have to come in turn 2. So they're kind of a support force. That's what they've always been intended to be, and that's what they still are. Their points, I believe, are the same, and that's it. Boom. Legion of the Damned. Hasn't changed much. Yeah. When I kit bash something, I have to figure out how to paint flames stuff. Okay. I have a lot of skull armor either, so just have to be what it is, right? And then the Officio Assassinorum, and this has the rules for the assassin, and the assassin is just one assassin. Operation Assassinate. If you uses victory points, you receive 1 bonus victory point in the game if the enemy's warlord was removed as a casualty or a result of a wound inflicted by these guys, one of these guys, if they took out their warlord. So it's just the same. Vindicare Assassin with his cool shooting stuff. The Kalatus with her, close-up craziness. The Evisar with his, super melee craziness. And then the Cluxus, yes, with the Psyker dude. Now you can do the Execution Force, which was also in the White Dwarf, I believe, which is just one of each assassin. They get Preferred Enemy, Warlord, so the other guy's Warlord. And they get the Operation Assassinate. So nothing, this doesn't really give you too much awesome, it's just a little bit of re-rolling and you get all 4 assassins. And there's the war gear. Their Exodus pistols, their swords, masks, different gauntlets and speculums, all this cool stuff that they have. And cool pictures that we've never seen of that stuff too. And now we come to the Inquisition. The Inquisition, you can do Inquisitor Representative, which can be just an Inquisitor, just an HQ, and up to 1 to 3 elites. The cool thing about this is if you bring just this one Inquisitor in this thing, apparently you can use the old Codex to the digital Codex. It's not really old, but you can do that formation and you can have the servo skulls and stuff, or you can do these guys. I'm not sure. People are kind of about that, and GW's kind of like they forgot servo skulls and stuff. I don't know, but awesomeness here is that this guy who comes in with this formation here, and actually the other one in the back, uses what's called Authority of the Inquisition. It means he gets to pick a warlord trait, and even if he's not your warlord. So if you have a warlord, say a Space Marine captain, he's your warlord. Then bring in Inquisitor, he also gets a warlord trait, and he's considered your warlord for the effects of that. So say if that's if anybody's within 12 inches of the warlord, which would be the Inquisitor, not your captain. So same basic stuff for armor and all the stuff they can get. 5 points for power armor. I don't remember if it was 5 points before. Was it 10? Don't remember. I think maybe it was, because I gave them some different stuff. But You can give him better armor, hotshot las guns, power fists, flamers, storm shields. Don't know who can get the special weapons of war gear. Don't know who can get a storm shield. Don't know if regular acolytes can. We'll find out in a second. Let's look at that, because that'd be cool if regular acolytes could. So, really cool stuff. And start out here, you got Inquisitor Codius. He's pretty much the same as I remember. 2+ save. He has no invul. 4/4 strength and toughness, wounds and attacks are all 3. He's got initiative 4, so better than normal human. He's got the Daemon Hunter warlord trait, which isn't really the greatest because it's just against demons, really. But he does have I've Been Expecting You, Lord of Formosa, and his Spy Network. So the Spy Network allows him to reroll initiative or force your opponent to reroll initiative. So if you want to take initiative, you roll and you get a 4 and you can roll again. Or if your opponent rolls and sees initiative, you can say, hey, re-roll that, and hopefully they're not going to get it again. Lord of Formosa, basically, all his non-vehicle units in the same detachment as him get objective secured, which is a great way to get objective secured with your elite units in the Inquisition. And everybody knows about I've Been Expecting You, where his units just basically shoot anything that drops anywhere near within 12 inches of. I call it the you will not draw or you will not deep strike within rapid fire range. That's what I call it, because that's about rapid fire range for a lot of weapons. And so he's just like, you're not going to get rapid fire your first turn, so go away. Then we have Inquisitor Karamazov and his big thing, 200 points. He has that big orbital strike relay, and he can put it on his own guys, and he can choose to fail his own things. He's got Witch Hunter, which is against Psychers. It's okay, warlord trait. He has a 2-up save and mastercrafted weapon, but he also does not have an invul save. So, yay. And so he's toughness 5 though. So, I mean, and 4 wounds. The guy's woundy, but I mean, he can be knocked down pretty good. Pretty good actually. It's just I don't know. I think he's cool fluff wise, but game wise, I don't know. He might not be the greatest. I would like to have him, but it's a big model of I think fail cast, like he is, and the resin stuff. Haven't seen him though. He might be good. Never know. I'd like to have him. It would be cool to have him. I would field him for sure, just because. Then you get your basic Inquisitors, your Ordo Malleus, and they can have all this cool stuff. They can't have any special weapons and war gear. Let's look at that. Usually HQs can have that stuff, but these guys can't, because then that would allow them to get the invul save, right? So, but Malleus can take Terminator armor, I believe, right? Yeah, they can take the Terminator armor. So these guys are the only ones who can get that 5-up invul. Except one of the others is warlord trait. I forget if it's Hereticus or Xenos. We'll find out. Basic Inquisitors are good at, they're basically average at weapon skill, ballistic skill 4. Everything else is kind of 3s. They're initiative 4s, attack 3, 10 leadership. So they get really awesome leadership, 4+ saves. So basic Terminator. You get the Order Hereticus Inquisitor, same as what's in the Inquisition book. That'll start out pretty cheap, 25 points. Order Xenos, 25 points as well. Same stat line. You get the cool grenades and everything. Then you get into Acolytes, 12 points for 3 Acolytes. So it's 4 points base Acolyte. A base Acolyte is weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 8, which is good leadership. Inquisition has good leadership, and a 5-up save. Start out with las pistols and chain swords for Acolytes only, but you can upgrade an Acolyte to a Mystic. Why would you do that? Because a Mystic, even though it doesn't have the chain sword, it just has a las pistol. has Psychic Beacon. Friendly units do not scatter when they deep strike so long as the first model is placed within 6 inches of a model with a special rule. And the model must be on the field at the start of the game. So these dudes, right here, you can put in basically, this is your new server always call type thing. I think that's what they just we're gonna do with this, and then there's a lot of hemming and hawing about some stuff, and they might be trying to end around to what they're doing, but I think that's what they meant to do. So Mystics used to be an add-on to an Acolyte unit. Now they're an upgrade to a regular Acolyte. Now they can take Chimeras, Sister of Battle Rhinos, Land Raiders, Crusaders, or Redeemers, Valkyries as a dedicated transport. So they got all their vehicles still. Here's the cool thing. You can have up to 9 Acolytes. So a total of 12 Acolytes in a unit. What it used to be is you could have 12 in a henchman squad. And then so like if you wanted to have a Jakiro, then you'd have 11 and then 1. If you wanted to have 2 Crusaders, then you'd have 10 Acolytes and 2 Crusaders, and maybe you got the Jakiro too, so now you're down to 9 Acolytes, and that's how it used to be. Now, it's different because all these guys are in their own list. You got a Daemon Host, he's 10 points. Same as before, gets this random roll, which can be good and bad. You can take 1 Daemon Host as a unit, so unit of 1. Jakiro Weapon Staff, unit of 1. It's got his little table here. The cool thing is, I think they've changed this on a 6+. It says pick any 2 of the first 5 results on the table and apply both to the unit. It used to be before you had to roll the other 2. But now it says pick. I think that's different. He can still use his digital weapons as a melter gun, a heavy flamer, and a laskin. He's still got weapon skill 1. No, wait. I thought he had better weapon skill than that before. Might not be. Ballistic skill 3 though, so he's hitting on 4s. I think it's 4s. Is it 4s? Probably 4s. 4 or 5. Anyway, so he's not he's shooting out there. Strength 2. You don't want to get him in close combat. Only 1 wound. Initiative 3. 1 attack. Leadership 8. He has no save at all. He's got his little defense orbs, and I believe those give him a 6 up in roll. Let's look. It's 134. So he's not wearing armor, but the defense orbs 5 up in roll. So 5 up in roll for those. So yeah, and the Daemon Host has a 5 up invul as well. So everything else in the Inquisition pretty much can get an invul save, just not the Inquisitors. Weird, right? Because up to 3 Acolytes can take special weapons and war gear. So you could give 3 of these guys Storm Shield. Not your Inquisitor, but your Acolyte. Okay. He has an invul. Chimera. Same thing. They've upgraded this from the book. Used to be. This is basically the same as the Chimera in the Astro Military book now. Used to be before you had more models could fire out of the Inquisition version. It was a little different as far as how it was worked. And now it's the same. And here's the big thing. We're getting near the end here. The Inquisitorial Henchman Warband. Now I've already added this up. If just don't include the Inquisitor and his unique unit that he can have. If you max out all of these guys and the units, you could have 57 models in a single unit. You're not going to do that. There's no reason for that. It'd be like a 1200 point unit. But here's what it is. It gives you Authority of the Inquisition, which is the ability to have a Warlord trait for your Inquisitor, even if he's not your Warlord. And Chamber Militant, which means your Inquisitor, depending on his Ordo, if he's Ordo Malleus or Codiez, because he's Ordo Malleus, he can get a Grey Knight Terminator squad that accompanies him. If he is Ordo Hereticus or Inquisitor Karzmanzov, because he is Hereticus, they can include an Adeptus Horridus Battle Sister squad with them. Now these guys can get their dedicated transports as well, so that's cool. If he is Ordo Xenos, a unit of DEATHWATCH veterans. also they can get their dedicated transport. Cool. So that's the Inquisitor. Has to have the Inquisitor. Can include one of these chamber militants, depending on who they want, right? And you have to have one unit of acolytes. That's got to be there. So minimum of 3 up to 12. Then you can have 0 to 1 units of Minister and Priest, which is just one guy. 0 to 1 units of Crusaders, which is up to 10 guys. 0 to 6 Demon Hosts, so up to 6 guys there. 0 to 1 Archoflagellants, up to 10 more guys. 0 to 1 Death Cult Assassins, I believe that's 2. There's 2 Death Cult Assassins. I don't know if there can be more. There might be able to be 10, so let me check. 68. Was it 10? I think it was 10. I think that's why I added it. It went to 10. Make sure though. Yes, 10. So up to 10 of those if you could put those in there. 0 to 1 Tech Priest Engineers. 0 to 6 Jokiro Weaponsmiths, so up to 6. So automatically getting the choose 2 on the thing. You don't have to roll. If you wanted to have 6 in there. And 0 to 1 Astropaths. So pretty cool. The only psychic that they've allowed you to have is the Astropath in there. They've taken away the Word Vein Psychers. I think it was the other Psyker that was, the Primera Psyker was what they used to have. So, but you have an Astropath now. You can use that psychic person there. So what, and this, it says these units must form a single unit with formations unit of acolytes. So everybody, the Astropath, Weaponsmiths, all those guys have to join the acolytes. But now, instead of just being limited to the 12 acolytes, you could have 12 acolytes as like your meat shield, and then you could run Death Cult Assassins behind them, or Daemon Hosts for psychic craziness or demon power stuff, or Astropath, and you know, you could just run all that stuff behind them as behind that meat shield of acolytes, which is cool. And the Inquisitor and his unique unit can be separate. They don't have to. They don't have the little thing that says they have to be part of that unit, so you can have that. The Inquisitor, say you have an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor with his Deathwatch veterans in a flyer, Corvus off to the side, and then you have your unit of acolytes with whatever you're going to do with them, right? Minimum of 3, so you could just take 3, and then you could run one that's designed for close-in combat. So you take a Minister and Priest, so you can get the battle hymns for either reroll saves or whatever you need there, and some Death Cult Assassins or Archoflagellants, one of those 2 guys. Or say you want to do a psychic heavy one, you take 3 acolytes and maybe a couple Crusaders, so you have some 3-up invols there to protect them, and then you run the Astropath with Demon Hosts, so you can use their crazy powers. Maybe you want to do kind of a heavy weapons thing, so you run 3 acolytes, and I believe they can all, even if you only got 3, let's make sure. Yeah, up to 3 can take melee, range, or special weapons, and special weapons I think is some of the heavy weapons. You can take plasma guns and melta guns and all that stuff, so yeah. So run melta guns or plasma guns, and then run with some Jakiro, so you have the other heavy weapons, the las cannons, that kind of stuff. You can do that. So a lot of options that you can make some really cool units in there, each designed for something. All of these are 0 to 1 except the Acolyte. So you can do this. You can take an Inquisitor. Say you take Codias, or just an Order Malleus one like mine that I have that's in Terminator armor with his side cannon and all that stuff. Take your Inquisitor, pair him with your Grey Knight Terminator squad, and then just have 3 Acolytes that are off to the side, so that you get all this cool rules and get these cool guys in this night type formation. And you have 3 acolytes that you got in the back holding an objective. Don't even have to give him anything, just 12 points. Beep. Not a bad tax for having a second warlord trait. And being able to put your Inquisitor with a really tough squad of Terminator dudes. Excuse me. So let's move on. These are the standard warlord traits for the Inquisition by Malleus, Hereticus, and Xenos. The first ones are the same for all of them. Unquestionable Wisdom allows them to pass or fail morale checks. Reader of the Tarot, they can re-roll the dice as long as the warlord is alive for reserves, outflank, mysterious terrain, and mysterious objectives. Excuse me. And Burner of the Worlds is an orbital bombardment. Strength 10, AP1, large blast, orbital bombardment. The one you're Malleus, you get Daemon Hunter, which is just preferred enemy daemons. Yay. Hereticus, it's Witch Hunter, and Order of Xenos is Xeno Hunter. So either preferred enemy demons, psychers, or the kind of Xenos is better because it's like preferred enemy every Xenos. It's even got Gene Stealer cults added to it. I just noticed that. Even added Gene Stealer cults. So it's Dark Eldar, Harlequins, Necrons, Orcs, Tau, Emperor Tyranids, and Gene Stealer cults. So that's cool. So preferred enemy, pretty much everybody but Chaos. And then Malleus, the other one, is Incorruptible. All units with him suffer -1 penalty to their invulnerable save to a minimum of 6. All demons who are around them. So kicking their invuln save to a 6+ because demons have a 5-up invuln, right? And it's cumulative with other modifiers, so if they have a better save, then you can use other modifiers. Forbidden Lore gives, if he's a Psyker, he gets 1 additional warp charge point each turn. And if he's not, then he has Adamantanium Will. Order of Hereticus is their other ones are Will of Iron. They get Adamantanium Will. Or Master of Interrogation. Enemy infiltrators cannot set up anywhere within 24 inches of the Warlord. Excellent board control trait, but that is a 6 on that table. So Ordo Xenos, their other 2, and this is where the only one I thought it was Ordo Xenos. Xenotech Collector. Warlord gets a 6-up invuln save. One of his weapons, one of his ranged weapons, gains +1 strength and a rending special rule for the rest of the battle. And either the last one is Purity of Mankind, the Warlord, and you have Hatred special rule. So, okay. If I was Order Xenos, I would like to have, depending on who is going against, either Xeno Hunter or Xenotech Collector. Order Hereticus, it would be nice to have the Master of Interrogation. That's some serious board control. And Order Malleus, I feel like the one that's actually good for them is the one that they all can try to get, which is Burner of Worlds, which is the orbital bombardment. So yeah. So it just lists the demonic powers again, melee weapons, armor that they can get for the vehicles. Which is kind of weird because you get the only vehicle they have now that's Inquisition is the Chimera. And it can make Inquisition vehicle equipment, which is just, now it's just true silver armor that they can get. There is no more, they have removed Psyflame. I didn't notice that, but I didn't see anybody else who mentioned it either, but the Psyflame is not in the Inquisition. I'm going to go back and see if it is part of, yeah, there's the Inquisitor relics, they're the same, and that's the end. So let's go back and check that. See if either the Battle Sisters or the Grey Knights have, let's see, Grey Knights vehicle equipment. Frag assault launchers. That's it. And Sisters. Deathwatch. Okay. Sisters vehicle equipment list. A Loudhailer. Reroll leadership tests. No. Sci-flame ammunition is gone from this as well. So, servo skulls and sci-flame ammunition no longer in this. Depending on how GW is running this, is either a supplement of its own, bringing these codexes that are still viable together, and you can use those codexes, or you can use these formations, which some of them, of course, it is DEATHWATCH and Grey Knights and all that stuff. But it's a little iffy on the ones that are digital, the Sisters and the Inquisition. That's an iffy one. But yeah, sci-flame ammunition is not here. Sad. Alright guys, well that is that. That is Codex Imperial Agents. I know I just kind of went through it and a lot of other people went through it, but there's some really, I like this. I was hoping for some updates, and I know the Sisters players were too. I was hoping for some updatingness. There's a few tiny updates, like the third Gene Stealer cults in there for the preferred enemy. They updated the Chimera, which I actually like the Inquisition one. I like the Inquisition Land Raider because it could take a Dozer Blade. So that's unfortunate. So I guess you could use the old or the Codex for those, but I like this Inquisition force in here, so I really would like to use those. Because if you notice, a lot of these units in here that can be part of this force here, a lot of these can take a transport of their own. So if they're all part of the force, you can just say, instead of using a Chimera, you could take some other vehicle, which I think that the Acolytes already have access to pretty much all of those anyway. So, but you know, you can bring those vehicles, and that's pretty cool. And I would assume, since these would be all these guys would be part of the Acolyte unit, they would be the faction of the Acolytes and be able to load into those vehicles. Would make sense. But yeah, really great. So I'm sorry I talked forever. Looks like an hour at least. Let's leave that back there. But this is what I got. These are the things. We will do something with this person. I believe I will think about making him a DEATHWATCH chaplain. He has the two heads right there. And one is the skull and then one is regular. And I may steal his skull head. Because with the ones I've got and this one, that will get me well onto the way to having at least a 5-man Legion of the Damned unit. So I think I got enough Space Marine bodies left over for that. So I'll have my cool Legion of the Damned unit and run those. Alright guys, if you like this video, please the thumbs and ups, and you know how that goes. If you haven't, subscribe down below. It's really good when you subscribe. Please click on the bell icon that's by the subscribed little red banner. Apparently, that's a big thing everybody's talking about now, is YouTube's really not being real good at notifying people when new videos come out unless they click on that bell icon. So if you want to know when new videos come out, please do that. I will be talking about what's coming up for next year in a video coming soon. And I appreciate you guys' time and watching my videos. I really do. And I hope you enjoy. And that's it. So thank you very much. And I will talk to you later.